Thanks for the support as a channel member, Jack Watson. Another transfer window down, another £60 million spent, another 3 young South Americans turning up in North London, and we're still in 6th place. We're just Spurs. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 16 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a... did we not... We're playing Barnsley. Are these the same 2 matches we played in the last episode? No, we did Norwich and Barnsley in the last episode. We have done, 6 weeks of gameplay, but we could have very nearly done the reverse fixtures of the one from yesterday. Who does this fixture listing? This is mad. And why is the Europa League... Why does that come back so much later than the Champions League does? Why is it the second knockout round? Do we not have to play in the first knockout round? How does the Europa League work? So if you win the group stage, you don't have to do the first knockout round? Is that how it works? I'm not going to argue. Just seems a bit odd that we've not got any European football in February. For a second there, I thought we'd been knocked out and I'd forgotten, but apparently not. What I haven't forgotten is that I've spent some money. The board gave me pennies to spend. Spend them I did. 3 more youngsters coming in from South America. 2 from Corinthians. 2 more Brazilian wonder kids. We've got Leo Guerreiro, who's a 21-year-old Brazilian under-20 international. He's a centre-back who can also play full-back on either side. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Unbelievably, only makes him the 5th best centre-back at the club, but obviously with lots of potential as well. And we were turning down offers for both Barnsley and Van Houston all through the transfer window. We were getting 70 and 80 million pound offers for Barnsley. We got, I think, a 70 million pound offer from Van Houston, both from Paris Saint-Germain. I think there's a very good chance one or both of them will be leaving in the summer. We've managed to keep hold of them for now, but if we don't qualify for the Champions League again, they'll almost certainly both be off. But Guerreiro comes into the squad as someone who can just come in and step straight into the team and replace them. So trying to plan a little bit for the future as we look to build a legacy of playing in the Europa League every year here at Spurs. And then we brought in 2 strikers. Why have you signed 2 strikers, I hear you say? Because I'm still really toying with the idea of doing a 3-5-2. I am slowly losing patience with all of my wingers, apart from Virginia, who is brilliant. But the others... And Greenwood on Orlando. As you can see, Orlando's gone out on loan to Schalke, so hopefully he can reignite some of the form that he showed right after he first signed for us. But I kind of feel like I was down to just 1 striker, so bringing in a couple more means I have the option to play 2 up front. Plus, they're both natural complete forwards, which is always my favourite kind of striker. So Angel Rosso or Angel Rosso, I imagine, because he's Argentinian, so it would be the Spanish. Oh, Kev, you're so good at speaking. He's played once for Argentina, 4-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Star rating wise, he's the best striker at the club. George, way back behind both of the new signings. I'll believe it when I see it, but he was cheap, 12 million quid on the old European club release clause. And then Antonio Carlos is a 21-year-old Brazilian striker, also capped at under 20 level, can play up front. He's officially an advanced forward, but can do the complete forward stuff very, very well, and can play anywhere behind the striker as well, within reason. He's not going to play left back, probably. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. So he's the guy with the most potential to go on and be an absolute world beater. And scored quite a few goals for Corinthians, it's fair to say. So I think we've now got 3 very good strikers in George, Rosso and Carlos. We've still got Greenwood knocking around on 350 grand a week. We probably need to get rid of him. And Orlando's out on loan to try and save his Spurs career. So we've got lots and lots of firepower at the club now, which is why we went 3 games in a row without being able to score a goal. In my defence, all of the new players were away doing international football. I didn't even establish what international football they were playing. They scored in this game. One of them, I thought they both played in this game. So Carlos, what were you doing? What were Brazil doing, along with most of South America, in the under 20? It was the under 20 squads, I think, were all away. So Jair was gone as well. There were a few others because we've got so many of these youngsters now. Apparently they didn't. Well, they all left. Did they just go on holiday together? They have no fixtures. Could it have been under 23s? Olympics qualifiers. That's where they all were. The rascals, all my South Americans, just disappeared. And all of a sudden, we had channel members on the bench. As you'll see, I think against West Ham, Ryan Lawson was on the bench. No, it might have been against Sheffield United. Where are we? There was definitely a game where Ryan Lawson was on the bench. There he is, look, Ryan Lawson on the bench. He didn't come on, but he did sit on the bench. We had to recall Sergei back from his loan to where he's gone out on loan again. But if we have a look at the transfers, can't you tell I played these matches just before recording today, so I actually remember what's gone on. I mean, it's the way of the future, it really is. But Sergei, we had to call him back just because we'd run out of players. So we had to bring him back, and he's then gone back out on loan to Union Berlin again once Jair came back. So it works for me. It seemed to work for them. He just had a couple of weeks back in London sitting on our bench. Didn't play a game, but it helped fill our bench for a little while. But then since the players have come back, we have started winning football matches again. So I am quietly confident that we should be all right for the second half of this season. Going into January, we were fourth in the league, just 1 point behind third. That run of form coincided with all our South American wonder kids not being here. So hopefully now they're back, we'll be good again. We are still playing this system at the moment, but we are also very much training that system, and I'm not afraid to change to it if this one doesn't continue working the way it has been. Now our South Americans are back. So we've got Pickford in goal, a back four of Sessegnon, Milenkovic, Banfalvi and Jair. Vargas at the base of the midfield, Gravenberch and Rott ahead of him. Sancho and Virginia are our wingers, supporting George up front. Let's get into the game and hopefully continue the good form that has returned to us since all our youngsters have come back to the club. So, dressing room, team talk time. Whew, team talk time, that's what we should always call it. I expect nothing but a win to keep our run of form going. I always expect nothing but a win, especially in games like this. We should be able to batter Reading. Where are Reading in the league? Reading are just outside the relegation zone. Interestingly, the board are now a little upset with me again. They were fine just before Christmas. That's why they gave me so much money to spend. I can understand them being upset, really. They gave me £60 million to spend. I spent it and then started losing games again. They should know by now not to give me any money. It all goes wrong whenever they give me money. Jair, though, down the right-hand side, I think he was the player we missed most of all while the players were away, because he is very dangerous down that right-hand side. Him and Sessegnon as our two fullbacks. I think it's one of the reasons our wingers don't perform, because our two fullbacks are better wingers than our wingers are. It's why I am very much leaning towards the 3-5-2 as a change, if not this season, then over the summer, if I'm still here. We've got the 5 centre-backs now. If we can keep them all, then again, it's the whole squad. That transfer window, it might have just looked like chaotic nonsense based on how we're currently playing, but it was forward thinking. I'm very much leaning towards a switch to that system, and I think we've brought in players that are going to make it easier to do that. What I would like to do is score a goal today. Now, Reading haven't even had a shot. They've had less than 40% possession, not had a shot in that first half, but we've not scored, which is silly. So let's assertively say, far from pleased with what I've just seen. We're going to go a little bit more attacking. We're going to go to a positive mentality and hopefully turn some of this possession and shots and chances that we're creating into a goal. A goal would be very helpful at this point. As it stands, because this is our game in hand, so as it stands, we are back up to 5th place, but a 6-point gap behind Arsenal does not a happy chairman make, as we're supposed to be finishing in that top 4. So we do need to be winning games like this, or else I am going to have a problem. George is in here, though, and it's a good save from the Reading keeper. But as soon as we pushed a little bit more attacking, an immediate little bit of attacking play, and it's the best chance of the game. I don't know why that wasn't recorded as a shot on target, because I'm fairly confident that's exactly what it was. We're going to make an early substitution today, and we're going to bring on the new boy, Antonio Carlos, up front, and we're going to go attacking. And we're also going to take off Jadon Sancho and bring Maddison on, because Maddison has been pretty useful in some of the recent games. I can't believe nobody told me to play him sooner, because he's actually quite good at football. Did you know? But we've gone attacking. We've asked them to get creative. We've changed some of the personnel. Still not working. Virginia not playing well. Dele Alli can come on for him. I think we'll switch them two over because Maddison's all right on that right-hand side. But this is what I mean about being very tempted to change the system up, because it's not working. Wingers, not working. I think Sports Interactive have broken wingers with the recent updates. Gravenberch with the free kick. Just stick it in the top corner. You idiot. I asked you to stick that in the top corner. Gravenberch having another bite of the cherry. He's been brought down. That's arguably even better than sticking it in the top corner. He's won us a penalty, and fingers crossed we can sneak past Reading by the skin of our teeth. Who's taking the penalty? Who's blonde? Maddison's blonde. Well, there you go. Shows how little I know about Maddison. Don't even know the colour of his hair. But he's scored a goal for us. His 7th of the season. He doesn't look blonde in that photograph. That's for sure. He's bleached his hair just for this match, clearly. But we are 1-0 up, which means we should probably drop back down to a balanced mentality. Let's not get too carried away with the attacking stuff. And that narrows that gap between us and Arsenal back down to 4 points. And we still have Arsenal to play. So, yeah, we're in with more of a chance having got a result in that game than we would have been otherwise. And now we need to go and beat Barnsley for what I think would be the 3rd time in as many months, because we beat them back then in December. We then played them again in the FA Cup and absolutely battered them. And hopefully we can go and pick up another win again today. That's the plan anyway. Oh dear, we have a naughty boy. I have not had a naughty boy like this for a while. Rott not available for the Barnsley game because he was leaving a bar in the early hours of the morning. I kind of wish this hadn't been done under the code of conduct. I don't know what... I didn't look. I don't know how we've disciplined him, but I would fine him 2 weeks' wages. I hope that's what we did. Not acceptable. We'll sell him in the summer. Turns out we fined him 1 week's wages. Very lenient. Might have to take a more active role in that this summer. We've had to obviously make that one change for the Barnsley game. João Victor comes in for Rott, who is unavailable. If we don't win well in this game, I think that is my cue that it's time to switch to the 3 at the back system for a few games and just give that a little bit of a try. I know that's going to mean dropping Virginia and Sancho, but if they're not really performing anyway, Jadon Sancho is a frustration because he's so good in the first half of the season, but similar to last year, he has kind of dropped off a cliff a little bit, just as we've gone into January and now into February. So I need a big performance from him today. I need the Virginia we had before he went back to Brazil for the Olympics qualifiers. Look at the state of Jair. We do not need a winger on this side because we've got an absolutely phenomenal one. He just makes me smile every time he touches the football. Someone said in the comments for a video a day or two back that he's one of those once in a series signings or once in a save signings who's just outstandingly incredible. And I think he really is. And you never know you're going to get them until they arrive. What are the chances of us getting 2 of those kind of players who both play at right back in the history of non-league to legend? Back in the very first one, oh, good, just hit the post twice because Jair's let him in. He ain't a right back, is he? We've got to change the system to fit him. The only problem is I don't think he can officially play right wing back. Obviously, we'll play him there and train him there, but I think if you look at his positions, in fact, after this highlight, we'll look at his positions. I think he can play right back and right wing, but unbelievable. And again, this is one of those silly little quirks of Football Manager because surely, and there has to be, and I know it's difficult to code this in, and I'm sure it's something they have considered, but if a player can play right wing and right back, then of course they can play right wing back. They can probably also play left wing back, and they could probably play in midfield as well. And the game doesn't always accurately reflect that. So Jair is natural at right back, accomplished right midfield, accomplished right wing, but an unconvincing right wing back. What skills do you need to play right wing back that he doesn't have from being a natural here, an accomplished here, and accomplished here? I don't get it. I don't understand. Is it just that he's always played in flat, in like a 4-4-2 kind of system in his past, so he's never had the opportunity to learn to play there? But even so, it should be 2 weeks of training and a couple of matches, and he's like, yeah, of course I can play it. Because in real life, obviously, if you switch to a 3-5-2 here at Tottenham, he's your right wing back, and you don't even think about it, you don't even question it. Of course he can play there. But It's just not the way Football Manager works, and it's mad. Just glancing at the Barnsley team, there is still a majority of players that I signed, but they're picking the wrong team. Stockbridge and Scuck down on the bench doesn't make any sense to me, because they were two of our very best players, if not our two best players. George with the header that goes straight into the hands of Esselink in goal for Barnsley, and it's the same again. It's like that Reading game all over again. We're controlling the match, but not actually converting any chances. Not even creating that many chances. We're going to go more attacking again. We're just going to follow the same model we did in the last game. I guess the one difference is Barnsley are actually getting their fair share of opportunities, presumably because we're away from home rather than at home. But we've had 2 clear-cut chances and not managed to find the back of the net. So I think it might be time for our new young strikers to get runs in the team. The only problem is they're both injured at the moment, or have both picked up knocks, which far from ideal. Jair now on the right-hand side. Can he conjure some magic? Instead, he plays it into Virginia, who finds Vargas. Vargas with the cross. Sancho's there, and Jadon Sancho scores. We asked for a performance from him today. We haven't seen much of one so far, but he scored a goal, which is arguably more important in the circumstances, because goodness me, did we need a goal. Jair and Virginia doing very nicely on this right-hand side. Vargas going out there as well, and he's the one who provides the cross, completely overloading that right-hand side with 3 players who can all play on right wing. Any one of them could have got the cross in, and one of them did, and we scored. João Victor with a little bit of an aggressive tackle there, but seems to get away with it. One of the few players I didn't sign has got into position and scored for Barnsley. And you've got to be asking questions of Jordan Pickford here, because this appears to be straight at him. We're having a look at it from the other side just to figure out what's gone on. So that is... Pickford should be saving that without any problem at all. But we're straight back up the other end to try and do an immediate reply to their immediate reply. Jair with the cross, and it can't quite make its way onto the head of a Tottenham player, but Milenkovic plays it forward to Sessegnon, who is in acres of space. Why would you leave Ryan Sessegnon in that much space? And George has hit the crossbar from the resultant cross. It's our 3rd clear-cut chance of the game, and now Virginia has picked up a knock, and that feels to me like an opportunity to try this out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's just shuffle everything around a little bit. Sancho could potentially go in there. Although I don't really want to take off Gravenberch. So we need another centre-back to come on. I think I'm going to take off Jadon Sancho. We can't fit these 3 midfielders in. Gravenberch, I guess, can go in there. Virginia's definitely coming off. So he can come off for Foderingham, who can come on and play in the middle here, but he wants to... Oh, he could play as a libero. I won't make a habit of it, but in all my years playing Football Manager, I don't think I've ever used one before. I think we probably shouldn't have a sweeper keeper behind him. I'm going to learn... You're not going to tell me in the comments what he does before I try and play that in a match. For now, we'll just have him playing on cover like that. We don't want Vargas to be in that role. I say I've been training this tactic, but as you can see, it needs a little bit of work. I think we are going to put Sancho in there and get him doing that, and we're going to take him off as well. We haven't got the other strikers. That's the annoying thing, because they're both injured. I don't want a false 9. Because, again, I don't really understand what they are. But if we have you playing that... I think that might work. But we want to be attacking. That seems to make sense to me. Let me know down in the comments what I've done wrong. Because no doubt I've done something wrong. And the fact we've gone attacking might have been a little bit ambitious. But it just felt like too good an opportunity to turn down with Virginia picking up a knock. Let's try this tactic out that I keep talking. It would be beneficial to play Jair in a more familiar position. That's the thing. He's now going to be nerfed because he's playing in a position he can't do. If we were to move him slightly further forward or slightly further back, all of a sudden he can. I mean, stick him there, and I guess theoretically he can do it. Or there. It's just stupid. Do we have to play as a flat 5 to get both of them in more familiar positions, but then put them on attacking instructions? So let's say complete wing back on attack. Complete wing back on attack. But now they're playing in positions they can do. Will it unnerf them? George is having a terrible game. Victor can come off and we'll bring Maddison on. And we'll stick him in everyone's favourite role as the deep-lying playmaker. You'll love it when I play him there. This has quickly turned into a stupid system that's not working because I'm doing it wrong. I need to actually put some proper thought into it. This is probably a game where we could have got 3 points if I'd have not been making a video, because I wouldn't have been showing off and playing around with it all. But hopefully we'll get a last-minute winner anyway. Here is George, who's had a really poor game. His run in the team is coming to an end once we get one of these youngsters fit. Dele Alli, out to Jair, back into Ali again. Can he get there? He can! Oh, it's a very good save from a goalkeeper that I brought to England and never got to see play. It was an excellent opportunity for Ali, but we have a corner, and it's Maddison to take. We know he can hit a nice corner. Maddison, onto the head of a Spurs player, please. Corner comes in. Who's under it? It looked like it was George under it. He was exactly the man we would want there, but didn't win the header. Milenkovic all the way back to Sessegnon. But now we have a free kick through Maddison. I don't even know where it came from. Cross comes in. Nobody gets onto the end of it. We've had so many chances. 4 clear-cut chances in this game, and we're not scoring goals. And it's because our striker's not playing very well. Maddison now plays it back to Milenkovic, forward to Vargas, who's got loads of space to pick his pass. Finds Sessegnon on the... He's not overlapping anyone. There's no one to overlap. Plays it all the way back to Maddison. That's where he'd have benefited from having Sancho out there on the wing with him. And it kind of killed that move just dead completely. That might be a reason not to switch to the wing-back system. Jair now, also in acres of space. He doesn't need any help. Would have been beautiful to see him crack that into the top corner. But he didn't. And I think we have now probably run out of time, and the Barnsley fans are probably loving this because they can see how frustrated I am with the fact that I cannot get my players to score, even though, look at the stats, we've clearly been the better team by miles and we just can't score goals. This is the episode I announced 2 wonder kid strikers in. Admittedly, they've not played, but you'd expect us to be able to score goals, and we just can't at the moment. And it's going to cost me my job if I'm not careful. This is the first time since the end of last season I've genuinely started to worry that I might get sacked. So we're going to get crazy aggressive Kev out again, who's going to shout at everybody, put them in their place, and then go and try and nurse my South American children back to health so that I can get some goals out of them. Right, we will be back tomorrow, of course, because we're back to normal schedule now. I probably should have said that yesterday, but I forgot. But we will be back tomorrow with probably the second leg of the Europa League knockout thing. As tempting as the Man City and Man United games look, they're a bit close to where we are now. So I think we'll probably do that game, whoever it's against, and probably Birmingham, as we look to try and push back up into the Champions League spots. And if we can't do that, try and get into the Champions League via another route. Europa League is where it's at. It's the competition everybody wants to win. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.